Hi, everyone. Um, my name's Irene. I work at the global office here at Rice. We are running the global programs in Paris. I'm the global program specialist, and I'm here with Clark and Stephanie. Stephanie will be teaching one of the courses, and Clark is helping us with a lot of the organization part. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen because we have a presentation. If there's any questions, you can either we'll have a Q&A at the end of the session, but you can either put a question on the chat or there's a Q&A section and we'll answer if we have time. Stephen, Stephanie, or Clark, if you want to introduce yourself, sorry, we can go ahead and do that first.
That'd be good.
I share
all right, everybody. I'm Clark Haptonstall, the chair of the Department of Sport Management. See a lot of names in here that are familiar, so it's great to see you. It's great to see your interest. I'm helping oversee this excursion, and I'll be in Paris for part of this, but probably not the entire 3 weeks. Go ahead, Professor Wilka. You're muted.
I recognize a lot of names here too. I'm glad you guys have interest. I think this is going to be a one-of-a-kind opportunity for you guys. I think many of you know I worked in baseball for almost 2 decades. I'm really enjoying this opportunity as a professor to explore different areas and areas of interest for you guys, which I take my cues from you. And I know a lot of people have interest in tennis, European soccer. This gives us an opportunity to really get over to Paris and dig into the operations of these Paris entities that so many of you have interest in. And it's also just an opportunity to experience a different culture and all of these, all of the obvious benefits to this type of program. So it's great to see you.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited about this opportunity as well. It's my opportunity usually to teach the event management class, and I recognize a lot of folks on here. This is a little bit of a different opportunity to go over to France, have the opportunity to go do some major events, see some facilities, discuss sports and see how it's handled over there. And just a wonderful opportunity, a once in a lifetime opportunity for all of you to experience something that you may not have an opportunity to see again in the rest of your lives. So look forward to most of you hopefully registering and taking this opportunity to come to France with us.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start a slideshow, and we're going to be talking about the course itself and then about the program. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to use the chat. All right, let me share. Okay, so again, this is a combination of 2 courses, and so I'm going to have Clark, Stephanie, and Stephen talk about the course itself. But the Paris session will be from July 15th through August 2nd. We did introductions, so I'll go ahead and pass it on to you all to talk about the course specific details.
All right, I'll take it from here. So everybody, it's gonna be 3 weeks in Paris, again, starting July 15th through August 2nd. While there, you'll be earning 6 credit hours. The professors are Wilka and Rackley, and this class or classes, it's going to be open to any Rice undergrad student. We're taking the prerequisites off of these classes. We're going to be taking 22 students to Paris, and we're going to give priority to the students who are majoring in sport management and or sport analytics going forward. The 2 courses that we're going to be offering are event and venue management in Paris, and then the business of professional sports in Paris. Those of you who are familiar with the curriculum of sport management, you'll know that these classes sound familiar. They are existing classes that we teach, but we are tweaking them specifically for Paris. The way that this is going to be set up, and I want to be clear from the start on this. I love when students study internationally. And so as the academic advisor for sport management and sport analytics, I try and be as flexible as I can, allowing students to study abroad, take classes abroad, and bring them back to Rice and have them count for something. So that is a problem that sometimes we have with some of the classes at Rice, where someone will study abroad, but then Rice doesn't accept their classes back. We want to be the opposite of that. And so we're going to be as flexible as possible. So students who go to Paris, you will enroll in both of these classes. So SMGT 477 Section 1 and Section 2. Sport Management 477 Section 1 will count as a substitution for Sport Management 366 Event and Venue Management if you have not already taken Sport Management 366 at Rice. Sport Management 366 is a required class for most, but not all, most sport management majors. So if you haven't taken it, then that class will count as a substitution. Sport Management 477 Section 2 will count as a substitution for Sport Management 400, a class taught by Professor Wilka, The Business of Professional Sports, if you have not already taken Sport Management 400 at Rice. However, if you have already taken one or both of those classes, so you're already taking Sport Management 366 and or Sport Management 400, then these classes that you take in Paris will count as electives towards the sport leadership concentration and the sport law concentration. Again, we're just trying to be as flexible as possible. If students want to go to Paris, we want to give you every opportunity to do so. That's why we're going to have these classes come back to Rice and count towards your degree. And that's why we also have removed the prerequisite classes. Okay, next slide. Tentative plans while we are in Paris. So Paris is a world-class sports city. And so we want to take advantage of as many opportunities as we can. So we're planning, the reason that we chose these two classes is because there's tremendous overlap between dealing with event and venue management and also professional sports. So some of the organizations that we are tentatively planning on working with in Paris include the Paris Organizing Committee for the 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games, PSG, which is one of the most popular and famous soccer teams or European football teams in the world, the Tour de France, which will actually wrap up a couple of weeks before we would arrive in Paris, the French Open tennis tournament, the Paris Musketeers is a professional football team, and they play American football in Paris. Stade de France is the national stadium of France, a professional rugby team, and then they have two professional basketball teams in Paris as well. And we are efforting attending the Olympic Games. So the Olympic Games are going to be held while we are in Paris. There's an 8 or 9 day overlap when we're there. Irene and the folks at Rice Global are working hard to effort getting tickets to one, two, maybe more Olympic events. We're working on that. So I can't promise you anything yet, but that's tentatively the plans that we're looking to do. So we're very excited about that. All right, next slide. So the program details and logistics, again, there's the dates. Who can apply? Any Rice undergraduate. Again, we're waiving the prerequisite courses. The total cost is $1,200 per credit hour, so that will equal $7,200 in tuition, plus the travel that you will be arranging to go to Paris. A flight from the United States to Paris can range between $1,000, $2,000, $2,500. And then any living expense money that you would want to spend in Paris. Irene and her colleagues think it's between $1,000 and $1,500. Now, what is good about that is the program inside that $7,500 includes 3 weeks of housing inside of Paris. And we'll be talking more about the housing here in a minute. So there's going to be the housing, there's going to be local travel, public transportation. There's going to be some excursions and tickets that will be provided. We're going to have 3 group meals, and then Rice is also going to provide travel insurance. Again, what's not covered, airfare to Paris, anything you need to do to secure a passport, anything you need to do to secure a visa, Your trip to and from the airport, once you get to Paris, you will be able to take public transportation from the airport to the housing. Anything that you have that is non-course planned, you will have free time while you're in Paris. But that will be, and if you have any excursions that you want to do, or you want to go to certain Olympic events that we're not going to be going to as a group, then those will be things that are at your expense. International phone plans, SIM cards, and most meals, etc. Good news is there is financial aid for some students that maybe Irene, in a moment, you could jump in and talk a little bit about that. There will also be some financial aid that is available from the School of Social Sciences, which is where sport management and sport analytics are housed. We can have more information on that later. And then tuition assistance, so students can apply to receive further tuition assistance and some international travel assistance from Rice Global Paris. And then application for assistance is included in the course application, which we'll get to also in a moment. So Irene, anything that you would like to talk about in terms of financial aid?
Yeah, so it's just really important that you, in the application, you put that in your application. We have questions regarding financial aid. Financial aid office, you have to first check if you're qualified for that through the financial aid office. If you do qualify, normally it's 50% of the aid is applicable for students that are qualified for financial aid. But if you indicate that in your application, we can help you with that process if you're accepted into the program. And then also for tuition assistance, that's aside from financial aid, is funding that Rice Global can provide. Again, that's depending on your application, and it's on a case-by-case basis. So you just need to indicate that in the course application. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about student housing and Paris-related things, unless Clark, you have anything else you want to add?
No, go right ahead.
Okay, so I just want to show you guys just information about Paris itself and what's included and where you'll be leaving and how the program will work. So as Clark said, we will have student housing for your stay. That's part of the tuition. We have 3 different residences secured in Paris, but they're all in the same neighborhood. So you all will be, even if you're in separate housing, you'll be near each other. We will have another student program going on at the same time. So another course will be happening in Paris at the same time as the sports management course. So you may share, again, the residencies with other Rice students who are taking a different course at the same time. Each private residence has individual fully furnished apartments. So you all would have your own apartment, and each apartment has their own full bathroom with a shower, kitchen area with plates and utensils provided, a table or a desk with chair, and then a bed with linen and pillows provided. And you can sort of see pictures of what all of these look like. All apartments are different sizes because we are in Paris, so they have been built in a residence. So just be prepared that it's not going to be all the same size room, but it will have all of this these items provided. You will also have a shared washer or dryer in the building. It doesn't cost anything except for you have to buy your own, detergent and that kind of stuff. And then you all will have a shared private courtyard garden space in each residence. Then just to show you a little bit how, because the housing is in a separate area from where the classrooms will take place. So classrooms are in our Rice Global Paris Center, which is in Paris, there's different arrondissements. So there are neighborhoods, and your neighborhood will be the 13th arrondissement, whereas the Rice Global Paris Center is in the 4th arrondissement. And I can show you a little bit more about what that looks like in the next slide. But basically, each housing is located walking distance from the metro. And again, you will be provided a metro card, while like that's part of the tuition cost, and it will be able to get you from the housing to the classroom space. It's usually when I actually stayed at one of the houses, and you walk to the metro line, and it's one metro it's about 7 stops away from where you guys are all staying. This is the neighborhood. I don't speak French, but this is what it's called, is Butte aux Cailles neighborhood. So it's the 13th arrondissement. Again, like I said, these are different. This is the way that Paris is set up, with all these different arrondissements, and they're kind of in a spiral shape. And then where the Rice Global Paris Center is here on the 4th arrondissement. So again, it's not a long metro ride away. It's a really safe neighborhood. It's really quiet. There's a lot of street art, and it's very accessible. Like, there's supermarkets within walking distance. There's restaurants within walking distance, but it's not a crazy area, so it feels very safe, and it's very nice. And then the Rice Global Paris Center is where, if you have class time, this is where it's going to be held. Again, part of this course will be part class time, part going on excursions to different locations. But for the classes, this is our center. We will have classroom space set up, accordingly, like how it will work for the instructors. There's a patio, like courtyard area, where you can go out and have lunch there if needed, or and it's also located in the Marais district, which is a very hip, really cool area of Paris. So you're kind of going to be in the center of everything. It's really great. And again, it's very accessible via the metro. Everybody just travels on the subway there. Okay, and then this is just how to apply. You can go use the QR code, or you can go to our website, global.rice.edu. The deadline to apply is January 26th, and then we'll be notifying acceptance on the week of February 5th. Let me show you the website just so you know what you're looking for. That QR code will take you to our main landing page. So you just want to scroll down to the course that you're wanting to apply to. So this would be the sports management intensive. So when you go here, this will provide you with all the information we've talked about, and then you can either request information, so it sends an email to us if you still have questions, or you can apply directly here, and that will come to us for review. So now I think we're just ready for a Q&A time, unless anybody else has something they need to add.
Irene, I would like to add one thing about the 22 students that will be making this trip. Everybody, we have a deadline on there of when to apply. I would encourage you, if you really want to do this, to go ahead and apply early, because we will be doing kind of a rolling admission. So we're not going to wait till the last minute and then announce which 22 there are. If students come in and they apply, and then we want to start admitting people early so that they know in advance. But with the last of the people being notified at the beginning of February. Okay,
Yes, thank you,
let's
Clark.
open it up for any questions. If you can just raise your actual hand, turn on your camera, raise your virtual hand. We'll help out however we can.
One thing I think we need to throw in there is the dates. So what the expectation is. So I know people are juggling internships and perhaps other things over the summer.
Yeah, so the session dates for the program are July 15th through August 2nd. They were chosen specifically so that it overlaps with the Olympics. The earliest you can arrive is the day before, just because of the housing. We have to have it tight, so it would be July 14th that you're able to arrive, and then you would have to leave August 3rd. as far as the residences. You don't have to leave Paris, if you want to plan some other travel aside from that, like in Europe, but you would have to vacate the residences the day, after the program ends. I do have a question from Heijing Wang. They're asking if Rice has any other centers or branch except for the Rice Global Paris Center. Currently, we don't, but the goal is to have more of these centers open up around the world. But Paris is our first satellite campus. But we, Rice does have other programs you can look at to go study abroad, but that would be through the study abroad office.
Hello, Aya.
Hi, I had a question.
Okay.
So I was wondering if those two classes also count as electives for sport law in addition to sport management or the sport
They will.
leadership track.
Yes.
So they're electives for both tracks? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We have a question on the chat. It's how will scholarships work with rolling admissions? Will we know what scholarships we are awarded by Rice Global Social Sciences when we get accepted? For Rice Global, we'll have to wait till the February 5th deadline to start sending out information about scholarships, because not only do we have these courses, we also have other courses that we'll be awarding scholarships to. So we want to have a finalized roster before we can award those. But I don't know about social sciences. I don't know, Clark.
That's still in the works. So I don't have a clear answer. I don't want to give bad information.
Yeah, I would say that any kind of a scholarship would probably happen after admission, but then that will make, you'll decide then if you can continue on with the course. There will be a deadline for accepting your admission, and if you don't accept, we'll have to move on in the wait list.
All right. Any other questions?
Okay.
All right, everybody, feel free to reach out to Irene or any of the faculty on here. Irene's email address, I believe, is pariscenter@rice.edu. Will that work?
Yes. So I just put it on the chat. You can also find that in the course web page that I shared. There's a section for questions. You can click on that and that will send an email to us directly.
All right. If you have any other questions, certainly reach out to us. We're very excited about this because this is a great opportunity. Rice has made a commitment in Paris. We're excited that we're one of the first programs to get the opportunity to go there, and they are allowing us to go when it overlaps with the Olympics. So it couldn't have worked out better. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you, Irene.
Thank you, guys. And we'll have a recording of this. If you all want it, I'm happy to share. You can send an email to pariscenter@rice.edu. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.